888-866-7440. Tim, you're at Twitter
at Real Tim Leonard.
Okay.
Yo.
Tell your friends about the Nassau Morning Madhouse. Hear what you're missing.
Check it out. Check it out.
I'll be doing karaoke this Saturday. I sang the theme song to Family Matters.
Can you sing it?
Yes,
sing it, please.
It's a rare condition of this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. Love and tradition of the grand design. Some people say it's even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these because all I see is a tower of dreams.
He knows all the
Real
words.
love bursting up in every seam. As days go by, it's the bigger love of the family.
Oh my God, I love that.
Nassau Morning Madhouse. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9. On the voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
All hit music.
For all those songs radio has forgotten about, join me, Big Ed, Mondays from 10 a.m. till noon for The Good Gold Show. We'll bring back all the great hits of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and more. The sounds of doo-wop to disco, all the Motown, soul, and great rock and roll. We'll even take your requests and dedications to The Good Gold Show.
Music.
On the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
Shake off the realities of the day, broaden your musical horizons, and embrace the diversity every Monday afternoon at 6 on Revelations. The show offers a potently unique collection of music with an emphasis on themes and rock rarities, an occasional tour de force of blues and soul, mixed with compelling sets of folk and folk rock. I'm Steve Kay, and I've got the perfect soundtrack for your drive home every Monday afternoon at 6 on Revelations, right here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
We're back here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. The show you're listening to is from the Press Box. I am Rob Leonard. Joining me, of course, is award-winning sports writer, and yes, my brother, Tim Leonard. 516-572-7440. We talked about the Giants actually winning. The Jets against the Browns. I joked about the Sam Darnold era being over. Well, I was joking, but, he's lost 2 straight games now. I don't blame him for this game. We also should say that Baker Mayfield came in and basically claimed his job as starting quarterback, partly because of injuries and partly because he played really, really well. And I think that that helped tremendously. The fans in Cleveland who haven't had a win for the Browns since 2016 were literally hugging each other like they were at a wake or something. And
because they won.
Because the wake is now over. It was amazing. They were jumping up and down.
They won.
I know that, but
how many games did they win last year?
None.
0.
I know. But
There's reason to celebrate in Cleveland.
I'm not saying otherwise. But
they haven't had reason to celebrate since LeBron won him a title.
Yeah, and we'll look at what happened there. He left.
Well, but here's what I want. Jets fans, you need to be patient. That's all I'm going to tell you. You need to be patient.
What do you mean? Why? Well, I'm a Jet fan. I'm not supposed to be patient.
No, you need to be patient. Here's the problem. Excuse me. The problem that I had with Thursday's game.
First of all, I think the Jets should have won it. There was a couple of things I thought they blew, but that's just me.
All right. Oh, thank you, brother. Okay. I'm about to say something. Just jump right in there. The Jets knocked Tyrod Taylor out of the game. And by the way, it's Tyrod, not Tyrod. And because of that, Baker Mayfield came into the game. I know you didn't say it, but a lot of people mispronounce it, so I'm putting it out there. Baker Mayfield essentially was told by the Cleveland coaches, go out, have fun, do your thing. Go be Baker. The Jets coaches told Sam Darnold, who had a 14-0 lead at the time, oh, be careful. We don't want you to lose the game. Don't do anything crazy. And because of the conservative play calling, and because Sam Darnold was not given the opportunity to really do what he can do, that's what lost the game for the Jets. And don't get me wrong, Baker Mayfield, he's a special talent. And we said this before the draft. This is a guy who he brings an attitude, and he brings this will to win and will to do whatever it takes and to sacrifice his body if need be to win a game. And that attitude has become infectious with the Cleveland Browns. They love this kid. And the fans already love him. And believe me, they love him a lot more on Friday after he got them a win for the first time since 2016. But let's not kill Sam Darnold. And let's not – you need to stop saying, even if you're joking,
I was
Sam
joking.
Darnold. I know you're joking, but it's a bad joke. But this is a guy –
Actually, it's not.
This is a guy, Sam Darnold, who is the future of this franchise. And who I still think when we're talking on the air about this 15 years from now, brother, I still think that we will say Sam Darnold was the best pick in this draft.
Okay.
All right? So 15 years from now, we're going to be saying that. We'll still be on the air.
I hope so. We'll be doing a podcast. No, we'll still be here. What are you talking about?
Who knows? Who knows what's coming next after podcast? But Sam Darnold, right now, Jets fans are going out of their minds because they're Sam Darnold, he's a bum. What happened? Here's some facts for you. Sam Darnold is the youngest starting quarterback in the NFL. He's 21 years old.
We know that.
All right? No, we don't. Not a lot of people know that.
I do.
All right? He played, what, one season of college ball, basically?
Basically, yeah.
All right. He needs to develop. And again, we've said this before. I've said this before. Carson Wentz of the Eagles, his rookie year, not very good. People are like, whoa, why was this guy one of the top 2 picks in the draft? He's not very good. He's great. What did the Eagles do? The Eagles killed their franchise. This kid's not going to be able to do anything. Second year in the league, Carson Wentz, MVP candidate. Would have been the MVP, but blew out his knee and didn't play finally until yesterday.
Yeah.
So he missed pretty much close to a year. But again, MVP candidate. So let's not get crazy because Sam Darnold didn't beat a very much improved Cleveland Browns team. Let's not forget that. The Browns, they didn't win a game last year. Myles Garrett is another year older and is going to be a terror in this league, the defensive tackle. Baker Mayfield showed he was probably worthy of that number 1 pick. And he might not have been rated as highly as Sam Darnold by the talent scouts in the NFL, but he brings other qualities.
I thought he played very well.
He did, absolutely.
When he came in, I was a little worried because, when you get that moment, it's, he seems like the type of guy who grabs it. Because sometimes people don't grab it right away.
You have to think about this with Baker Mayfield. Sometimes it's the same thing. Sometimes it's going to be ugly. Sometimes his crazy plays and his spur of the moment playmaking ability isn't going to work, and there are going to be times where it looks really ugly because it's not only going to work, it's going to go horribly wrong. Sam Darnold has to be given that same consideration. Sure. With any rookie quarterback, there's going to be some pain, there's going to be some ugliness because these guys have to get used to the NFL. College game may be quick. It's nowhere near the NFL.
Well, the players are bigger and
every week you're going against the guy who was the best guy on his college team. So that, especially for a quarterback, is the most difficult part, is the speed of the game, getting used to it, and getting used to it to a point where, as they say, it slows down. Because now you're used to the speed, and now you can make your decisions in a controlled manner as opposed to the chaotic manner where you're looking all over the place. Oh, what do I do? Oh, I got to throw. I got to do something. That when you're not in that chaotic mindset anymore, that's when you make progression. And that's not going to happen in 3 games.
No.
You know, Sam Darnold looked fine in the preseason. I said
it in the first game.
But I said it in the preseason. Teddy Bridgewater looked better.
That's true. You did.
All right, but I am of the mindset that Sam Darnold will get there, and I wasn't necessarily of the mindset that Mark Sanchez was going to be there when he was this guy in a similar position, because Mark Sanchez made a lot of mistakes, and he kept saying he was going to learn from his mistakes, and he never did. With Sam Darnold, I'm more confident that he is going to learn from the mistakes that he's made, and I'm also more confident that this Jets coaching staff, unlike the Rex Ryan coaching staff with Sanchez, that at some point they will allow Darnold to be a little more independent, give him more responsibility, and say, all right, you know, kid, we're putting the team in your hands now. And I am of the mindset that he will respond to that challenge, and that will be when he takes off. But we don't know when that's going to happen, because it's not going to happen anytime soon.
No.
Because he's still learning, and the coaches are still going to be cautious with him. But to me, the Jets lost that game because the coaching staff didn't react to what the Browns were doing after Baker Mayfield came in. And they should have, as much as you want to respond defensively, you also have to respond offensively. If your team isn't moving the ball and isn't using the clock and trying, basically they wanted to try to monopolize the ball and keep it away from Baker Mayfield, you can't do that. You need to become more aggressive and to do, you know, to pass the ball more, and instead of run and try. And I know the Jets supposedly are a team that was constructed to run the ball, but you need to be able to adjust. And at some point they should have said, all right, hey Sam, we need you to throw more, and we need you to help and to lead us, because this guy that was drafted ahead of you, only one of 2 guys who was drafted ahead of you, he's taking his team. He's putting them on his back, and he's getting it done. We need you to do the same thing. And that never happened because the Jets coaches, for whatever reason, chose not to do it.
They also didn't change the fact that Baker Mayfield comes in. You know, they sort of they sort of kept the plan the way it was, and they said, "Oh, look who's in. We're not going to change it."
Well, but the problem was, and Baker Mayfield is a similar quarterback to Tyrod Taylor. He's better than Tyrod Taylor, but they play a similar style. They're run option. They're guys who can beat you with their legs as well as their arm. But when Baker Mayfield came in the game, and the reason he came in the game was because Tyrod Taylor got hurt because the Jets beat him up, but Taylor to that point was horrible.
I agree.
Baker Mayfield comes in and just totally changed the game. I don't want to say by himself, but almost by himself.
By himself. Well, we should say the Jets play Jacksonville this coming Sunday.
That's not good. That's a hellacious defense Jacksonville has.
Jacksonville is 2-1. They've only given up 44 points in 3 games. That's pretty darn good.
They gave up 6 yesterday.
Yeah, so
2 field goals. I watched that game. It was an ugly game. Jet fans, be ready for an ugly game this week. So it's going to be horrible. The Jets' defense is pretty good, too, and Jacksonville's offense is average at best.
Yeah, well, the Jets' offense is, well, you take away the first game, is 77 points. Well, with the first game.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, hey, it's to me, you know, I'm watching the game, and I'm like, okay, Baker Mayfield. You know, he has a cool name, by the way. You know,
he does. He's got a cool name. He's got a cool game. You know, there's a lot to like about Baker Mayfield, you know, except the arrest. The arrest I don't like.
Well, yeah, that's something. And imagine if Johnny Manziel actually was decent. Would Baker have been picked?
No, absolutely not. So, again, dominoes fall. Johnny Manziel, complete waste of money for the Cleveland Browns. They drafted him. They paid him a lot of money, and he was a complete bust.
That's true.
Couldn't get it done on the field. Was a nightmare off the field. Cleveland finally said, all right, bye-bye. But, again, the dominoes, look what happened. Look at how far that set back the Browns. Not that the Browns have picked a quarterback that didn't work out before, because, wow, they seem to make a habit of that every year, or almost every year. I'm not even going to name the quarterbacks.
That's okay.
The Cleveland's gone through 60 quarterbacks in the
Yes,
last
they have.
decade or so.
Okay, brother, we're going to take a break.